Hi guys, it's me Danielle Danibuttons, and I'm here today with the long-awaited, requested by few, not many, board game collection video. So basically, I've been talking about this for months and months and months, but I really want to show you my whole board game collection. I know this is going to be a niche market here, but I also know that there are definitely a few of you that are also board game connoisseurs, aficionados, I don't know the word for it, but that also love board games. So I figure I will go through my collection and show you what I got and talk about them. And if you want any like recommendations or things like that, you can let me know. But I'm just showing you this one. This is one of my newest. And first I'm going to show you like where they are, where we keep them all. And then we're going to go through and literally talk one by one by one. So I'm probably also going to use this time to reorganize them a little bit because it's gotten a little crazy out there and I'm kind of full on space, but I've been seeing a lot of cool ways to like store stuff because you'll see some of these games have huge boxes, but the game itself is just like a deck of cards. So I might be doing some organizing and things like that. We'll see. But I'm waiting for Sam. Took Noodle on a walk, so I'm going to show you the collection when he gets back. But here's Rubik's Race. I'll show you this first. It is a 2-player game I just got for my birthday where basically you shake that like boggle, like it's dice, and you have to match your board to the shaker before your opponent. So that's a fun one that we've played a few times already. And I'll get into the rest of it in one moment. Okay, so this is actually the closet in our office. This is technically what we call Sam's closet, and it has a lot of like the giant boxes, and it also has some that we are wanting to get rid of by like giving to friends and things like that. I probably won't be taking these down, but I just wanted to give you an overview, and then I'm going to put you on a monopod so it's less shaky. But there's a bunch of stuff up there, especially big boxes. And this is the large majority of our collection. We do have some overflow at the moment, but we're going to kind of reorganize this. This is in our living room, and you've seen this before with my Nutcracker collection, and these are all my Disney DVDs, but here houses the majority of our collection. We have 10 full shelves, 2 more, and then these boxes are also, these 2 and the bottom one are also board games. So we're going to go through cube by cube and show the extras and kind of reorganize as we go. So that is our plan. Okay, so this is an incredibly crooked representation, but you are actually on my monopod. I am hands-free, and I have my favorite guy back, the pointer. So I'm just gonna kind of point. For the rest of it, we're gonna like physically take stuff out and show you one at a time, but this is mostly like backup stuff, so I'm just gonna point with my pointer and hope for the best. Also, I don't know why I feel the need for this disclaimer, but this might not be every game I own because they're kind of spread out all over the place because I frequently, like anytime I go anywhere, I bring a game or two. So that's a thing. Also, if you have any recommendations for us, we'll be letting you know our favorites as we go. And I think that's it. So let's go. All right. So up there, we have a wobble pen. It doesn't really work. It's supposed to like make it really hard to draw. It doesn't do anything. Mystery Date. Recently, like 3 years ago at Target, they redid a whole bunch of like old classic games. I know you bought that one. And it's all right. A lot of the stuff in here too is puzzles, like board puzzles, jigsaw puzzles, and again, stuff that we are going to be giving away to friends if we can figure out anyone that wants them. Over here is Smash Up. Sam hates it. It's a fun game where you like deck build and then play like battle with the deck you built. Machi Coral, I don't even remember. I'm probably giving that away. Cootie is one of my games from childhood. That was a lot of fun. This is a set of poker chips. Stratego is a classic. I think this is Bang the Dice game, another one that I'm not a huge fan of. La Isle we got for like $4, and the instructions are not in English, so we can't play that one. Avalon has a minimum of like 6 players, so we've never played that one. A bunch of card games, including Exactica, which is like a cool, instead of regular suits, it's like triangle, cube, sphere, fun shapes like that. That's a set of dominoes. I love Scrabble, so I have Super Scrabble, regular Scrabble. Upwards is basically Scrabble that you could build on top of each other. Hidden above Upwards is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle version of Trouble. This is a clock that Sam never made. Then we have Sorry. Rummio, I think just was like my grandma's and I just had it. Disney Villains Monopoly. I absolutely love that one. And that was great because you got to like put the villains, like you built the board yourself. So they gave you like 30 villains and you got to place them. So I got to make my favorites worth the most money. And Payday is potentially one of my favorite classic games overall. It's a great family game if you've never played. Chronology is like a history game that is made in the 2000s and is way too old for us. We don't know what's going on. And then over here peeking out, there is a actual dart set that was a gift for my mom on her 30th birthday that I have. So that's basically this closet. Like I said, there's some jigsaw puzzles that you can't see up top and a box for one of my collectibles. And these two are jigsaw puzzles. And I don't think there's anything else in this closet that I can see. So on to the next room. Okay, so first I'm going to show you two that were actually in that closet that I didn't show you. One is possibly my favorite thing. It is called Who's Left, and it's basically a knockoff version of Guess Who, but I made it my own friends and family. So I absolutely love this. Hold on, let me do one thing. Child. That's not a child, that's Anthony. Child. Anyone else that wouldn't want to be on screen that we know of? That should be good. Okay, so I thought this is the coolest thing ever, and I printed two of everybody, and I think it's a lot of fun, and I tried to pick like different pictures. So I picked pictures of people with hats, people with glasses, smiling, not smiling, and like even if you don't know everybody, it's fun. But I love to do like, did they go to college with me? Like, are they related? Are they Sam's family? And I highly recommend making your own Guess Who if you can. So put that back, assistant, thank you. And then I also have my Monopoly, which is make your own, and I have not, and I really would like to. We should do this. I think I never wanted to commit to what I would put in my own Monopoly, but I should. So that's the second one. Next up is all the games that currently don't fit on our shelves, so we're gonna have to do some finagling. First off is Hues and Cues. I mentioned this before because I brought this with me to Chicago, but basically this is a color guessing game. So one person will have to match this color and can say a one-word clue and then a two-word clue, and everybody else has to try to figure out what they're describing, and it's a lot of fun, especially for a colorist. Just one. This one was perfect because Lydia got 2 copies of it, so she gave me one, and it's one of my favorites. And basically, it's like reverse Scrabble. So the person who's guessing, so Sam's guessing, and he picked chocolate. So everyone else has to try to make him guess the word chocolate, but if anybody matches, they go away. So you get just one word to make him guess chocolate. Is that good?
Reverse categories?
What did I say?
Reverse Scrabble.
Oops, reverse categories. I'm sorry. My assistant will be here to fix any mistakes that I make. So that's a really fun one. Then I have Mysterium Park, which was a gift from Lauren, and I love it. Basically, Mysterium is a game that one person is the ghost, and they have to get everyone else to figure out like who killed them, where, and how. And that game, you need at least 3 players. So Sam and I don't have our own copy. But this game is a mini like spin-off, and you can play with 2. So that's why it's super cool. And this one is all carnival themed. This is one of my absolute favorites, Sushi Go. It is a card game where it's like deck building, and you like pass your cards around to make the best deck of sushi. And this one is so great to go anywhere with, and I love it. And if Sam and I are playing one-on-one, I win every single time. But the second a third person joins us, he wins every single time. It's very strange. I don't know what that's about.
You describe these all very differently than I would describe them.
Do you want to do some shelves? You can do your shelves.
Sure.
Sam's going to help because he doesn't like my descriptions. Rude. This is Telestrations Upside Drawn, and it is like reverse Pictionary.
Mm-hmm.
So basically...
Reverse Illustrations?
Yeah, no. Pictionary. Because it's not really Telestrations. Yeah. Basically, the person with the paper is actually the one moving, and the pen stays still, and the paper goes like do-do-do-do to make shapes, and the person with the pen has to guess. So that's a fun time. And then this is my newest game that we were just playing, and it's called Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza. And this is a vicious, hurtful game of smacking, and it's so funny, and I'm terrible at it. And I also don't want to break my nails. Like, excuse me, these take a long time, okay? So I'm going to lose, but I'm going to laugh a lot. I don't know how to describe this besides, what is it? Like Egyptian rat screw?
Yeah.
You ever played that? It's a fun time. I recommend. Okay, next we got Barren Park. We've only played this once, I think, but
Once or twice, yeah.
it is a Sam game where you're basically making a national park with bears, right?
Yeah.
And they're all named different languages, like Bear Park. And I don't know, I love bears, so it's fun. But we have to play that more for me to know more about it. Then we have Letter Jam, and it's like it says, it's a cooperative word game where you're kind of trying to guess your own letter. So there's like, if there's 5 people playing, everybody has a letter, but you can't see your own letter. You can only see everybody else's. So you're trying to make words using everybody's letter so you can guess yours. It's a whole thing. I like this one a lot, but it's a thinker for sure. What?
I don't even remember what this is, and you just described it, and I've played it.
We like that one. Ugh. Clue. This is my version of Clue. It's a little bit old and ratty. But it's one of the, like, wooden ones. I don't know. Everybody knows what Clue is. You have to guess who did it. And finally, on games that don't fit, is Jaws. We got this when it was, like, buy 2, get 1 free at Target. And unfortunately, it's minimum 3 players for this one, too, I think. Oh, it says 2 to 4. Why have we never played by ourselves?
I don't know.
Well, he doesn't know. But I forgot what I was going to say.
One person plays the shark, and the other 3 players are
trying to kill the shark, essentially.
There's the other 3 people from Jaws.
Yeah, everyone's character from the movie. It was fun. We only played once, but it was a good time.
Yeah. So
that was that shelf. I'm going to pause, get a few more shelves out, and then I'll be back.
Which one's mine?
Okay, I'm sorry. Sam's are on the bottom. I'm going to do the first bucket, and I'm going to talk through that, and then when I'm done, Sam's going to swoop in and do his, so go on that side of me. Okay, so first up is Bloom. I just got this for my birthday too, and basically it's a dice game where you are trying to collect all the flowers. That's the easiest way to do it. It's a super cute one, and I seem to love dice game, so that is that one. Then we have Strike the Dice game, and this game is you like roll the dice in this little arena. It's like a big dish, and then you physically like throw the dice at each other to try to make them be the letters you want. The numbers you want. So that's that one. I'm going to try to keep mine off screen so I can put it away at the end. Jaipur is a 2-person game. We love 2-people games because we're 2 people, but it's, upside down is what it is. Resources collecting. So you're trying to like get the most gold, and then you could sell gold for money, silk, silver, rubies. Then we have Othello. This was my mom's, and I don't really play it as much anymore, but I keep it because it was hers. But Othello is basically like if you put a black one here, there's a black one there, it'll flip all of them. So you're trying to get your color the most up. I mean, it should learn a lifetime to master. Apparently, we have a 3-pack of cards with Crazy 8's, Go Fish, and Old Maid. I used to play Old Maid with my grandma. I wish I had that copy, but I don't know if we've ever played this. I probably got this for like $5 in the Michael's bins in the front. That was that. Then we have Linky. This is a trivia game where there's 4 questions on each card, and they all link together. So as you're saying the questions and answering them, you have to figure out what the link overall is. And like if you get it, you're like Linky, and then you get this color or this letter. So you get an N, and then you're trying to spell the word Linky. So you're trying to win 6 times, or those 6 specifically. All right. We got Ya Blew It, the rowdy game of riches and risks. And this was just really cool shaped. This actually has funky shaped dice. They're like 6-sided, but they're like, what's the 6-sided shape, Samuel?
Cubes?
6-sided, the 6-sided.
Hexagons?
Oh yeah, I thought that was 5 for a second. I had a big moment, guys. Oof, that was embarrassing. Yeah, they're hexagon dice, and you like roll them, and it's like press your luck. So if you want to keep rolling, or you could blow up. Then we have Martian dice, which is another press your luck game, and you're like trying to roll the most Martian or the most cows, and it's a whole thing. It's a cute one. Again, I really like dice games, as you're seeing. There's a hint at what's in there. Cows and UFOs and scared people. fun stuff like that. I'm pretty sure I got this for like $1 on clearance at Barnes & Noble back in the day. I also have, without the box, my mom's version of Scattergories. So I have a newer one, but I'm going to keep this because this was hers. And this was our favorite game back in the day. So that's in there, but hard to get out. Then, this is a fun, hold on. I have Uno. So I have my original Uno. This is like our family favorite. And then Target had these Unos. So for their 50th anniversary, they came out with more. So I have the 90s set, the 80s set, and the 70s set. And again, I think I got all of these on clearance too. So we're huge Uno fans. I have a random bags of dice, just in case. I have Outburst. This is another trivia type game, and basically there are lists of 10 answers. So it'll be like, what's a good example? Words for money. And there's 10 answers, and you have to just randomly scream them out. You have 60 seconds to try to guess all 10 words for money, and you get as many points as you guess. So that one I like. Lydia hates that one. I don't know why. Every time we play it, she's like, please, let's never play that again. So, whoops. I have a trivia card game, I think. A Trivial Pursuit, I mean. I don't know if I've played this in a long time either, but it's like, there's trivia questions, and then you can like steal the answers or something. I don't know. Buckets was the way to go for first, but we went there. I have Limbo. This is a card game, as you can see, and you're choosing sides. So this is kind of a test your luck thing too. And you want to either put your cards on the heaven or the hell side, and like wherever the balance is who gets the points. But you have to be careful because you'll like get negative points on the other side. It's a fun one. Are you almost ready for your turn, Sammy? Yep. Then I have Rook, another classic. It's a trick game. Never really get to play this either because it's for 4 people and we're only 2. And finally in this one, I have Monopoly Deal. This is a lot of fun too. It's just like a card game version of Monopoly. So next up is Sammy, and I'm going to try to not cut. So if you're ready, Sammy, get in there.
Okay.
Get in there. Yeah, we're gonna like go around each other.
Alright. This is Star Wars, the card game. This is supposed to be one of those living card games, so they release extra like booster cards that you can add to it. Haven't really played that much, so that's really all I can tell you about it.
Oh yeah, you're much better than I am.
Well, I haven't actually even played these games, so it's going to be harder.
Yeah, well.
As opposed to the describing games that we have played. I haven't even opened this.
You can still say what it is.
My Village. This is about, you get like 5 different villagers, and one of them like a priest, and one of them's a farmer, etc. And you're supposed to like improve your village and have the best village by the time the game ends. This is Eldritch Horror. I got this because it's a 1-player game, so that was interesting. Didn't really... There's a lot of pieces to this game, though, and that was really hard for me to justify as 1 player. You see on the back, there's like a whole map, and you're supposed to put things different places, and there's a lot of cards to keep track of, and but it's like a regular Cthulhu type game where you're like trying to find mysteries and not go insane at the same time. And then this one is Suburbia. Suburbia is about living in the town of tomorrow today. So you you collect tokens and put together a grid. And there's different rules about how they score, which are on them. And of course, there's more instructions in the manual to help you out. But the idea is that you want to have the best suburb at the end of the game, depending on how you all score. I enjoyed it a lot, and apparently nobody else does.
That's the game for Sam's shelves. So you're going to put those away and get your next shelf out.
Yep.
Alright, next up I have Mondo. This is one of my favorites. Mondo means world. And this is also a tile building game. I'm going to flip this one over too. And basically everyone gets a blank world, and you have to build the pieces. So there are either like grasslands or Arctic desert or forests, and some of them have animals already on it, some have volcanoes, and it's time based, so you're trying to like race to get the best score and get like bonus tokens, and I just really love it. I love stuff like this where it's like puzzles and time based and things like that. So that is Mondo. All right, I'm trying to be even more efficient, so let's see how that works. So I'm going to push them to that side for when I'm done. Next, I have the escape room game. So this came with 4, and I actually have 1 expansion that you'll see later. But it has this whole like big machine in there, and it's basically an escape game at home. I find that it's fun with 2 people. I think we've done 2 of them so far, or 3.
2?
One we did just Sam and I, and one we did with, I think, 4 of us. And with 4 of us, it was a little bit too easy, but I think it was just perfect with 2. Also, though, we really love escape games, so that could be part of it. But it's really fun and interactive. There's, like, keys and stuff. The only problem is that, essentially, once you're done, you can't really replay it. If you're careful with, like, packing it up, you might be able to. And at this point, we haven't played in years, so we might be able to replay these. Sam.
Yeah, maybe.
My other plan would just be to give it to somebody else who likes board games. You better be ready. Next, I have Takinoko and the expansion. This is a fun, cute game that is also like building your area. Let's flip this one over. So you're building one of the 4 colors, and they each do different things, and then you're building bamboo, and it's just a whole resources and points, and it's super cute because there's little pandas everywhere, and the chibis is like they're little babies. Miss Panda's the new. And I don't know if we've really ever played the expansion, but we've definitely had fun with the base game. And then, oh boy, this one, I have some boxes here, and you're going to see some boxes later too, but it is Disney's Villainous. This is a whole series. Here's 2 of them, and they're a lot of fun. This actually is like the wrap, this outside of the wrap of another one. So currently, there's the main game and 4 expansions. I have all of them. Samuel, you put yours on the wrong shelf.
They're all the same shelf.
No, they're not. Yes, so there are 4 expansions so far. I have them all. They're a fun time. Basically, each expansion, the original game has 6 different villains, and each expansion has 3 more. And this is so well done. Like, if you're a huge Disney fan, you'll really appreciate this. You do need the base game to play the rest of them, but obviously each expansion can be added on its own. So like, let's say you just got the base and the 3rd expansion, that's totally fine. So I would totally look for your favorite villains. And it's basically you're the villain and then you're fighting the heroes, which are the normal good guys. It's so well done. So well done. Highly recommend. Here's an example of the back, and you can see some of the pieces. This Cruella, Mother Gothel, and Pete. Basically, all the big ones have been accounted for at this point. So I'm very excited to see who comes out next. Maybe some Pixar expansion or villains next. But that's that. Back to Sammy.
Okay. So this is the Castles of Burgundy. It's definitely opened. And that's about it. Yeah, well, we definitely played it at least once. It's one of those games where you have to, like, trade and collect some resources and build things and have the best castle by the end. Okay, this is Charterstone. This is a legacy game, so I think it's still going, but there's like a fad in board games where they're like continuous, and so they call them legacy. I think the most famous is Pandemic Legacy. And so like each time you play it, there's different rules because like of what you did last time. So this one is supposed to last 12 turns, and I think we played it twice.
3 times.
But it's got fun artwork. We all named our villages something differently. I don't remember what they were at this point. So this is Forbidden Sky, and this was fun. This is a cooperative game where you're trying to get off of like a, I don't know what it is, just like a platform that's floating in a storm, and before lightning strikes and you all, you know, don't make it off, you have to like connect these things. But it's fun because they actually like are magnetic and conduct electricity, and when you're finally finished it'll light up and go. This is Castles of Mad King Ludwig. So this is a lot like Suburbia, except medieval themed. It's the same company. I think you'll see there's a lot of the same icons in the back. So you like collect tiles in each turn. You want to build a castle. This is, I think, vaguely sort of historical. There was this guy named King Ludwig who built a castle. But it's a lot of fun. And then you score points based on the different symbols. And the objectives have the most points at any game.
All right, I'm back. Hopefully this is working out for you and is not like so noisy. I can never tell what the camera can pick up sound-wise, and especially when Sam's on, I always like max out my volume in editing so that we can definitely hear him because I'm a lot louder than he is in general. But all right, another easy shelf. We have Smartass. This game is so funny, and I always lose because of a very silly reason that I'll tell you about. This is basically trivia where you get clues and you have to figure out what it is. So it'll be like, the answer will be a pillow, and the first clue will be like the year it's invented, and the second clue would be like where it's invented, and you're kind of like narrowing it down, and the last clue will be like a soft object that starts with P, and then you eventually hopefully say it. And the problem I have, and both of my cousins, is every time we know the answer, we kind of like gasp in, and then we end up losing. So we'll be like, and then somebody else will say it. So it's like a race. It's a fun time. Smartass trivia. I like that one. Actually, I have expansions for that and another shelf that we'll see. Next, we have Wits and Wager Party. This is a fun one. This is basically trivia, but it's trivia that nobody really knows. So it'll be like, how many jump ropes does it take to circle the entire world? And obviously, you can maybe guess, but you probably have no idea. So everybody that's playing puts a random answer down, and then you bet on whose answer you think is closest to the truth. So you don't have to bet on your own answer. So it could be like, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? And everyone else says like 300, 200, 150, and you say 10,000. You can still bet on somebody else, and then whoever's actually closest will win. And this is a great party game. Then we have another absolute favorite of mine, which is The Game of Life. This is one of my favorite family classic games. I wish I had an even older version, but this one's okay. They keep coming out with new stuff, and I don't know if I like all the new updates, but this is, yeah, the addition with this one is there's like safe routes and risky routes. Also, some of these are dusty, and that's a little embarrassing. We gotta play even more. Sheesh. But I feel like a lot of people know what life is. There's a fun spinner. This is one of the games that takes forever to set up, but then once it's good, you're good forever. Then another classic that I play with my nephew is Candyland. I just think it's so cute. I wish I had my original version of this one too, but I love all the little characters, and just, I forget their names right now because I'm trying to figure it out, but it's Mr. Mint, Queen Frostine, I like Grandma Nut, she's not on the cover, the licorice guy, so a cute one. And this one you're just matching colors. It's very, very basic for toddlers, but we like to play with my nephew. Then I have Disney Scene It. I have more Scene It's coming up, but this was my original Scene It, and these are the games. I don't know if they still make them because at least when they first came out, you needed the DVD, and you'd basically get questions related to like clips that you saw on TV. So you would either, they would show you like something and you'd be like, oh, what color shirt was Pinocchio wearing? And you'd have to see if you retain that information. Or they'll be like, oh, how many like fish swam by? Or it'll just be general Disney trivia. So I love me Disney, you know that. And then finally on this shelf, you ready, Sammy? Yep. Is Tapple. This is a new one to us too. and it's so much fun. I love this. I brought this to Chicago also. So for example, pizza toppings. So you'd say mozzarella and then press the middle, and then the next person say anchovies and press the middle, pepperoni and press the middle. So every time that somebody answers, there's less and less letters left, and you have to keep going around until the time stops. And I love it.
Okay, this is Star Wars Risk. So it's called Risk, but it really has very little to do with Risk. They're just sort of taking two brands and slapping them together and hoping you buy it. But this one is a lot of fun. So in the middle section, the TIE fighters fight against the X-Wing, Y-Wings, A-Wings. And then this is supposed to be Darth Vader versus Luke Skywalker, and this is the attack on the moon of Endor at the end of episode 6. So the rebels win if they destroy the Death Star in the middle, but they can only do that if the shield goes down. The Empire wins if they wipe out the board. Depending on who wins this, the main board gets a bonus. So it's sort of like this three-pronged thing you have to do. So I think it's not a lot like Risk, because Risk is like about fighting multiple people and cooperating and backstabbing and everything. But this is just 1 versus 1, straightforward, except really weird combat because there's 3 different things you can do. So this is Star Wars X-Wing miniature game, and it's empty because at one point I got enough things that I just got this.
Case.
Yeah, whatever you want to call this, tool case. So if you open it, you see there's all the different pieces. The spin discs are what help you move. And I think that the fun box is actually on the bottom. Yes. So you get, these are all the miniatures. So this is the Darth Vader ship, the Executor, I think. This is Millennium Falcon. You know, I think that these pieces are pretty well detailed. It's always the thing that I'm afraid of with miniatures. And, you know, TIE fighters, these are the new TIE fighters from the new trilogy. They have slightly different rules. Yeah, and it's a miniatures game. You just move them around, and how they are on the board lets you shoot at each other. It's 1 versus 1 dogfight. But, so there's like, the main box comes with, I think, 2 X-Wings or 1 X-Wing and 2 TIE fighters or something. Something crazy like that. So I had to buy all the other things individually, and then of course there's no packaging that comes with it because you bought it all individually. So I got that thing from Home Depot. This one is Spirit Island, and this one's a lot of fun. So you play as the different spirits. Some like conquerors have come to your island and they want to, you know, do what they want to do with it. But you don't want them there. So you're going to push them off the edge, kill them, destroy the towns. Yeah, you're going to just wreck them. You don't want them on your island. You're going to convince them to go home. It's a lot of fun. There's a big variety of spirits you can play as. They're very different mechanisms. It is a little bit of a longer game, but yeah, I really liked it. And this is Small World and Small World Underground. Are these in the weird things right now?
Probably.
Yeah, so this is during the time when I thought I could like make things out of foam.
I keep that in there.
I think it's solid. It doesn't... It's not very useful, but it's solid. This is actually more like Risk. There's like a board, and what you want to do is you're going to get a trait and a race, and they're random, so maybe one time you're like hardy orcs or strong goblins or, you know, differently. And you want to fight things, you score points at the end of each round, and at any point you can give up and get a new big group and common with those people too. And so it becomes this thing where, like, do you want to stick with your main guys, or do you want a new group of people? Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Are you gonna keep going, or are you just gonna assist?
What?
You're gonna do more shells, or just gonna assist?
I don't think I have any more shells.
So you're just gonna assist. Basically, those are the Sam theme games that he plays with Dave and not Danielle. So now, a lot of these are also his games, but we'll see. So, okay, can you then get the next shelf ready as I'm going?
Sure.
Great. Next up is categories. It is one of my favorite games. It's a word game that you get categories and you get letters and you have to fill those categories and not match. So it'll be like boy's name that starts with S, and Sam and I both put Sam, neither of us get points. But if he puts Sam and I put Simon, then we both get points. And I just love this one a whole lot. Then we have where words, and this one's a lot of fun. Basically, everybody has a role. So you could be a werewolf, you could be a villager, you could be the mayor, and the mayor gets to pick a word, and everybody else has to figure that word out. But the werewolf doesn't want to figure it out. They're the bad guy. So it's like a secret. There's a regular werewolf game that's a great party game. This one's better for fewer people, which is, of course, what we like about it. And I don't know what else to say about it. It's a fun word game. Like secret identity type thing. This is Agricola, all creatures big and small. This is a 2-person game. I think there is a version for more people, but this one is you're essentially farming and you're trying to get all the different critters. So there's sheep, horses, piggies, and cows. And it's, I win this one a lot too. Don't tell Sam. He's got distracted. But I don't know how else to explain that one. So, yeah, you're like building your farm and you can make it bigger and use your resources and build buildings and fun. Another 2-person game is Patchwork. This is quite possibly my favorite 2-person game. And essentially you and your other person are trying to make a quilt. And there's only a certain number of patches to put on your quilt, and you're trying to have to like fit it all into place. So you're taking turns taking the pieces to fill your quilt up, and there's buttons. The currency in this game is buttons. So I think this was made for me. I don't know about anyone else. But next is a Blockbuster. I got this for a party one time, and that's pretty much the only time I played it. But this one is basically a list of bunch of classic movies, and you have to describe them in different ways. So some people have to like act from the movie, some people can use words to describe the movie. There's just a few different ways to play it. I love the game itself because it's like a VHS, and that's fun. Oh, one word, quote it or act it out. So either describe it with one word, say a quote from the movie, or physically act with no words involved. So I opened it. It's cute, and like the board is well, first of all, that's the board closed, but it's the parking lot of Blockbuster, so that's fun. I enjoy that. But now I've opened the box and made a problem for myself, or for my assistant. No. Assistant, you want to start putting these back as we're talking? These stand up. This is 5-second rule. Just spit it out. Basically, it's trivia questions, and you have to answer. Careful, Blockbuster's still open. You have to answer 3 things in 5 seconds. So it'll be like fruit, and you have to say 3 fruit before 5 seconds is up. Nope. This goes up there, and they all stand up. Other way. So this is harder than it sounds. You think it'd be easy, but it is not very easy. But that's 5-second rule. I don't think Sam knows how these go. They don't go like this at all, bub. No. Okay. All right, Sam's finagling with the games as we keep talking. This is Mad Gab, and so you say gibberish, and it turns into real words. So, an impulse buy, and then it's an impulse buy. So this is like a teamwork game, and some people get it and some people don't, and it's another really funny one and another really frustrating one. And finally, this is Geek Out. There's regular Geek Out in there and Disney Geek Out, and it's like a trivia / betting game where you'll say, oh, I can name 5 Pixar movies, and then the next team will be like, I can name 6, and then it keeps going on, and then whoever wins has to name those, and that's how they win the card, or maybe they can't. But it's funny because since it's Disney, sometimes I can name a lot of things. So I'll be like, I can name 37 Disney movies, and nobody likes to play with me, so rude. Okay, we come to another villainous expansion. This is the newest expansion. I just got this for my birthday. It is Despicable Plots. This one has Gaston, Lady Tremaine from Cinderella, and the Horn King from Black Cauldron. So that's in that one, but we discussed that earlier. Then we have Pictionary Air, which is this is the new shelf now, but you did good. But so like keep that there, but in the future, this is the new shelf. Okay. Pictionary Air. It is a game you play with your phones. So like if you're looking through your phone, you can see what they're drawing. Obviously the person drawing in the air doesn't actually see anything. It's really hard to describe. It's a fun one. And if you have like Apple TV, you can connect it to your TV and play that way. Then we have Traditional Trouble. Sam got this for me last year for Christmas, and we would just like play every day before dinner, and I love it. This was another one of my mom's favorites, which is another reason why I always love them. So this was just from Five Below. It's called Slingshot Arena, and we're kind of addicted to Five Below games, and basically you're just racing to get your color through. So you kind of sling it and try to get it through a hole. And this is a fun game if you are wanting to like decide something. So it's like, all right, well, I get to pick dinner if I win. So that's what we use that for. And this is 2 of my favorites mashed up into one. It's a weird one. I don't know if we like it, but it's the Game of Life plus Trouble. And you spin and pop, and it's weird. It's a weird time. I don't really know how to explain it. But you're like going around collecting people. I don't know. Don't know if I recommend. And then I got the big, sorry Noodles, this scared her. It is Dusty. I figured out they're dusty from when they painted. Everything got dusty. Yeah, and so some of these were in the back, but not the best excuse. But this is Seen It, and I have like 5 versions in here because my sister-in-law used to be obsessed, and then she didn't want them anymore, so she gave them to me. So I think I have movie, I have TV show, I have The Simpsons, I think Seinfeld. There's a bunch of them in there, but they're just like all in the same box. Yeah. Oh, Friends, movie, Simpsons, and TV. So again, the hardest part about these games is finding a DVD player to play on. We're up to our next shelf. Okay, you saw Telestrations. The other one, I don't remember what it's called. This is just the original Telestrations. Basically, it's like the game of telephone sketched out. So the first person will say the word. So they might say Christmas tree, and the second person has to try to draw it. And then the third person has to guess what they drew, and so on and so forth. And usually in the beginning and at the end, you get 2 very different answers. So apparently it started off as doggy bag and ended as man purse in their example. Another color game. I love color games. This is the Pantone, the game. And basically you have to, there's something behind that. Light bright. Basically, you have to describe famous like characters with, I did the shelf. Oh, I'm so sorry, Samuel. I tricked him real bad. I did do that shelf. I went a little bit out of order. I did not do the below shelf. You have to describe famous characters with colors. So like for the Hulk, you can use green, etc. But there's different rules. So the first round, you can use as many as you can, like all the colors if you want. And you can like physically draw the shapes out with the cards. Second round, you can only use 3 different colors, but as many cards as you want. And the third round, you can only use 3 different cards total. So it gets difficult, but it's a lot of fun, and I love color-themed things, because of course I do. Next is Concept. This one is another Lydia-inspired one that she showed me. And how do you describe this? This is almost like visual charades. Might be a way to describe it. So basically, you have a word. So you might have the word princess. And you have to describe princess using other pictures. So you might say that a princess is a lady person and it's like a worldly thing, and it's positive, and you figure it out. So for B, they did an animal that's yellow and black, small and flying. So hopefully that makes sense. This one, it's like a big thinker too, but once you kind of get the vibe, you get the vibe. Next, another fun trivia one is 0. Aim low, score high. I love this one. So this one will be like, name the 7 dwarfs, but you want to figure out the least popular of those 7 dwarfs, but it still has to be an answer. So maybe everybody says dopey, but maybe nobody says sneezy. So you get points based on how well you do. So it'll be like states that start with A. And again, you want to have a real answer, but the lowest real answer. It's trippy. We used to play this so much that we had to stop because we like went through every single card. But now I think it's been long enough that we can play again, Samuel. We should do that. Okay, then we have code names and code names duet. There are a bunch of code names out there. These are the 2 that we have. This is the original. This is like a 2-person version, but basically, I think you can play this as 2 people also, so I'm not really sure where the second one came from. But there'll be like 10 words out on, more than that. There'll be like 20 words out on the table, and some of them are like bad. Like one of them is a bomb, 4 of them are the other team, and 4 of them are yours, and you have to get your partner to only pick your words and not the bomb and not the other team. And you can only like give them 1 secret hint. So you can be like blue and 3, so that means 3 of your words are associated with blue, but maybe one of their words does too, and you could blow up. So that's how I explain it. What's the duets version?
The first game, the rules don't really make sense for 2 people.
All right, well, so it's just an easier version, I guess. And finally, for this shelf, I also did, hold on, let me tell Sam one more thing. I didn't do that shelf, that shelf, that shelf, that bucket, and that bucket.
1, 2, 3.
Bucket, lower bucket, and technically that middle thing. I don't know how we're going to get that out.
Yeah.
So this is nefarious. This is a fun one. Basically, you are a mad scientist and you're trying to make different evil inventions. And there's different things that you can do to make your evil inventions. So you can be spying on the other mad scientists, you can be inventing, you can be researching, or you could be working and you're just trying to make the most evil inventions to do the most evil things. It's very nefarious. Ha ha ha. All right, next shelf we have Pretty Princess. I love this. I had this as a kid. Actually, my cousins had this as a kid, and I was jealous. And they used to lose pieces, and that made me crazy. As an only child, I didn't lose anything. I was very protective of all of my stuff. We'll take out Dominion last, because it's a crazy person. But yeah, this game is a children's game, 100%, and you're basically going around the board and trying to collect all of your jewelry pieces. So you need like your necklace, your ring, your bracelet, your earrings, and the crown to win it all. And then you look in the mirror and you say, I'm a pretty princess. And I loved playing this in college with a room full of boys. Good times. Then I have a few Trivial Pursuits. Oh, this is dusty. Yikes. Trivial Pursuit, Bet You Know It. I don't think we ever play with the betting, but in theory, you can bet if you're right or wrong. We don't really do that. So we basically just use this as regular Trivial Pursuit. So that's that. Sam. And then this is just another Trivial Pursuit. Triple the fun for everyone. I don't know if there was any. Oh, this one had different levels of questions. Basically, they come out with a different version of Trivial Pursuit like every few years. And I think I only have these 2. You see any other Trivial Pursuits anywhere? I don't think so. So that's what we got. Then we have Cranium Wow, and this is a team game where you have to do 4 different categories of things. So you have to do a word question, you have to do acting, there's sculpting or art, and there is like actual fact trivia stuff. So this is a fun one in groups also. We are moving right along, I think. Actually, this could be like the longest video of the whole month. I have no idea because I am doing it so choppily. But we got last word. This one's fun. So you get a timer, but it's a random timer. Maybe it's going to be 5 seconds. Maybe it's going to be 20 seconds. And you're basically trying to be the last person to have answered during the timer. So it, again, we'll have a category. It'll be like colors. And so everyone will be screaming out colors. Blue, green, purple, yellow, whatever. And then whoever said the last word before the timer buzzed gets that card. But again, it's random, so it's a lot of fun. Imagine If. This is one of my favorite party games. This one can be up to 8 people, and basically you write everybody's name around the border, and then you travel around and land on it. So we've landed on Samuel. So it'll be like, imagine if Samuel was a race car. What type of car would he be? And then it'll be like, would he be like a Ferrari? Would he be a Volkswagen Beetle? Would he be in the shop? And then we all have to answer, and majority wins. And I don't know, I love that game a lot. Then I have Pictionary. So this one I feel like everybody's played. You're just drawing what's on the cards and hoping your teammates figure it out. And we have the Game of Things. This is a fun one, another hard box. And basically you get a prompt and everybody writes down answers. And you have to figure out who said what. So it'll be like things you shouldn't say to your in-laws. And everybody will say something you shouldn't say to your in-laws. And it'll be like, oh my gosh, Sam definitely said your lasagna sucks. Like that was definitely Sam. And you kind of have to guess who said what. And it's a fun party game. Hey Waiter. This one is a team game. I think, right? It's 2 teams of 2?
Yeah.
And you are basically trying to serve all of your plates. And there are different colors, and you can like stop people from serving certain colors by putting these little, I don't remember what they're called. Why do I want to call them cloches?
Lids?
Thank you. That's obviously not the fancy name for them. Sam says the lids. You can put the different lids on top to like block all the yellow dishes from going out. But you and your team are trying to work together to serve all of your plates before the other team. Smartish is a newer trivia game, and it's a lot of fun. And there's basically different categories, and you're betting what you know. So like you pick 4 random categories and then you put them in the order you think you're going to know them. So like I would say I know science the most, so I'm going to put that in my 4-point space. And I'm going to say I don't know history, so I'll put that in my 1-point space. And if I get the science question right, I move forward. If I get the history, I move 1. And you're kind of like battling everybody else around the board. I love that one. And I have another categories. This is categories. And instead of 1 letter, you're getting a word. So, for example, camping trip, and you need to do things you would take on a camping trip that start with each letter. So, for example, they said ice, a grizzly bear, a river, and pine cones. So, there's that. This is my other favorite game of all time that I got from Lydia. I have expansions too. I even have one more expansion that I don't know where it is at this moment. Might be on a different shelf, I guess. This is Sagrada. Oop, here it is. We got Sagrada. We got the 5 to 6 player expansion. We got the Passion expansion, and we got the Life expansion. And they said they're coming out with one more, so I'm sure I'll be getting that one too. But this is another dice game where you're essentially building these like cathedral stained glass windows with your die, and there are certain rules, like you can't have the same color next to each other, you can't have the same number next to each other, and each card will have certain rules, and you're basically just trying to build your window and do the best job of it. So I don't know what it is, but I absolutely love this game. I found the other expansion to the escape game, so this is just a little add-on, an extra round of that. And here is my expansion to Smartass. Sam got me the 90s version, and he actually also got me like girls' night for a bachelorette party. So he got both of those for me. I don't know. I think they're both in that box now. Then another simple one is Wheel of the 90s. It's just a card game, trivia game. It says ready to roll, but I don't even think there's dice. Is there? I think it's just trivia. So like we played this at Christmas where I all just sat in a circle and played that one. Then another oldie. So this is my grandparents' copy of this, Poker Keno. It's basically bingo, but with cards. and they used to sit every weekend and gamble with pennies. So I now do that a little bit. Or I try to do that. But basically, you're just like shuffle a deck of cards and you flip them. And as they come up, you mark them off on your board. And whoever finishes their board wins. Oh, this is a Sam game. What's San Juan, Sam?
San Juan is about building a board. I've only ever played it 2 players. So it's really weird. But there's a lot of like trading and yeah.
Cool, thank you. And he mocked me.
Well, I'm sorry, I haven't played this game in 10 years.
I haven't played some of these games. Whatever. This is a Sam game, but it is Second Chance, and it's basically, can you get the next one out? That one. It is basically patchwork, but for multiple people. So you take your cards and you're filling it in on your board, and it'll be like you can pick one of 2 choices, and you're just trying to fill up your whole entire board, and you're drawing it in yourself. And I absolutely love that one. So then we have Point Salad. I got it because it was fruits and vegetable themed, but you're essentially making a salad, and there's different cards and there's different like rules to collect them. So it might be like, oh, if you get every onion you have is worth 3 points and every carrot you have is worth -1. So you're trying to like make your salad to get you the most points. So love it. Have you played this one?
Yeah, we played it together.
Okay, so this is Morals.
Morals is like you're going to a trip through the forest and you're collecting mushrooms along the way. So like even if you don't do anything, the cards just move along without you and they get discarded. And the person with the best mushrooms at the end wins.
So it's a mushroom building game essentially. And then finally for this shelf is Roll Through the Ages. This is another favorite of mine, and this is another one that I accidentally got a really good deal on because it was marked wrong. So we got it for like 15 bucks instead of 40. But basically this is, you kind of play with by yourself, and everybody has their own little score sheet and their own little pegboard, and you're rolling and doing resource management to do whatever you want to do. So you can work towards having the most buildings, the most workers, the most resources, and etc., etc. But I love that one a lot. Also, all right, here we go. Bazaar. This one is a very pretty game, and there's like marbles involved. Let me flip that over. So, this game, you are rolling and obtaining these essentially colored stone, and you're trying to fulfill the prompts, and you can use these rules to trade for different stones. So I could, if I have 1 white stone, I can trade it for 2 red, and then maybe that would get me to 5 red. And you're trying to do that and really keep the least amount of stones and fill the most prompts, and that's my explanation for that one. I don't know a better way to say that one. Then you have Welcome. I also love this one. This is another Sam game, but you're basically trying to build your city. So is this dice too? No, this is cards. So there'll be 3 cards, and then you get to pick which one you want to use, and you do whatever you say. So like you're filling in the houses by writing the numbers, and they have to go in ascending order, and then you're filling in whatever else comes with it. So you can get pools, or you can get construction or different resources, and I just love this one. Yeah, I'll just keep that out. Okay. Next, we have Control. This one we got on clearance at Target. I don't really know what this one is, but you're essentially trying to build this crazy structure, and you want the most of your color showing on a particular side. So you can like build them on top of each other, but I don't really know how to explain it beyond that. But yeah, that's a overall another, ooh, that's a loud one. That was another cheapo purchase at Target. Speaking of cheapo, Five Below, hungry hippos, but they're turtles. That's all you gotta know. I had to buy this because it was only $5. So, hungry turtles. Next is Taboo. You're trying to describe a word, but you're not allowed to say a bunch of words associated with it. So you might want to describe Christmas, but you're not allowed to say Santa or presents or holiday. And you have to just figure out other words. So it's taboo to talk about the words on the card. And Spectaculum. So this one is, let's flip it. This is like carnival themed, and you're trying to get your pieces out in different ways. So there's different rules, and you can pick. It's hard to explain. A lot of these games, I'm realizing this, especially trying to explain them all at once, are in fact hard to explain, but once you know, it's kind of easy. So that's all I have to say about that one. All right, now we're back to another bucket. So I think we're getting close to the end here. In my bucket, these are all my coins for the Poker Keno that I showed you. So that's that. Apparently I have another deck of Uno. This is mostly card games in here. I have 5 crowns. I love 5 crowns, and Sam hates it, but I love 5 crowns. It is 5 different suits instead of 4, so 5 different suits. And you're basically playing rummy, but there's like 12 rounds, and I don't know. I love it. The bottom one of those two. Yeah. Phase 10, another one Sam hates, so I gave it to him for Christmas last year. And there's 10 different phases, and you're trying to complete your phase before anybody else goes out. And with 2 people, it's not too bad, but with more people, I expect it is not a fun time. Then I have Get Bit, and this is basically a Lego man, and you want to have not the highest card, because the shark will bite the person with the highest card, but you kind of have to like figure it out based on what everybody else has. I don't know if Noodles is being bad, if you can check on her for a moment. Then Something Wild. This is the Funko Pop. There's a whole series of these, and this is obviously the Little Mermaid themed one, and it's just a cute card game. And like, if you have the Ariel, you have this one, and you just move stuff around, and you're trying to match different colors and powers, and it's just a cute one. And I think you can like get a whole bunch of Something Wilds and play them together, but that is the one I was interested in. I have 2 versions of Bananagrams. Bananagrams Party, I don't think we ever played this one because I have original Bananagrams. So that's my 2 bananas, and I had to do a surgery on that banana. He got a tear in him, but this is a great one to just like bring with you. We used to bring this with us to the laundromat all the time and play that there. It's a word game, and it's like build your own Scrabble board. Then I have my vintage Chutes and Ladders. This is another one that was my grandma's, and it's magnetic, and it like is travel and opens up. And I don't know if I'll ever play this again, but I will have to keep it forever. That's another big one for growing up. Then I have Get Lucky. Kill Dr. Lucky game. There is also a board game version of this, but basically you're like moving around to try to kill Dr. Lucky. And there's just different rules based on like what number the card is. So I think you're hopping around from lowest to highest card kind of thing. I have literally, I'm not going to bring them all out, but I'll bring a few of them out. I have literally like 30 plus decks of cards in all different types. My dad puts a deck of card in every stocking every year, so I might get a new one this year. But we really, if you're going anywhere, you should bring a deck of cards because there's so many things you can do with just a deck of cards. So I have a ton of decks of cards. Then I have Set, which is a matching game. So there's like different squigglies, and you're just trying to visually find them and find different sets. So it'll be like you either have to find the same squiggle in solid stripes and lines, or you have to find the same squiggle in the same color. It's a whole thing, but you're finding patterns. Then I have Quiddler, which is essentially Scrabble, but with cards, and you're trying to figure out the biggest words. It's like a hybrid of Scrabble and Rummy. And I have Scrabble Slam, which again is Scrabble, but with cards. Again, just many more decks of cards. I have a few versions, I think, of Flux. If you've ever played Flux, that's a fun one. Hold on, I'm just trying to see if I see anything good at the bottom. Mostly, this is all decks of cards. I think that's it for that bucket, so I'm going to start putting it back. But Flux is basically known as the game that the ever-changing rules game, and you just continuously put in new rules. So you're trying to reach your goals, but the rules are forever changing. So maybe when you first start, you're only allowed to have 2 cards, but then you can get rid of that rule, and now you can have unlimited cards, and you can draw 1, play 4, you can draw 5, play all. It's ever changing. So hold on, gotta put everything back in there. Is this the end? Did we do them all? We have one last bucket to do, and then the thing in the middle, but that might be it, right?
Yeah, do you want to get the thing in the middle?
No, I'll just describe it. So get the stuff on top of it, though. Okay, I got Simon. This is Simon Swipe, and I might play this after this, because every time I see it, I play it. But basically, it's regular Simon, but sometimes instead of just, like, tapping, you, like, swipe. So you'll be like, red, yellow, green, green. Oops, I said green twice, but, you know, I love that one. It's a good time. This is a new one that we haven't played too much, but this is Mystic Market. And you're basically, it's another, like, buy low, sell high type of thing. So there's different potions, and you're collecting cards with the potions, and you can sell them. And if it's all at the top, it's worth more. But after you sell it, you move it. Oh, after you sell it, you move it from the bottom to the top. So it's a whole thing. These move. There's actual little potion bottles in there. I have the Pop-Tart game. I don't even know. I think you're basically just trying to get the Pop-Tarts before they get to the toaster. This was a fun little like add-on from my mother-in-law last Christmas. We only played once or twice so far. Harbor is a game. I don't remember Harbor at all. What's Harbor, Samuel? You're at a port and you're trying to do stuff. Yeah, collect and exchange goods, manipulate the market, and purchase buildings in the harbor. I don't know, but this was a good game for 2 people. And this one is another one we bought from Barnes & Noble when there was like a huge sale, and we bought all the things. So that was one of the ones we bought. So that's Harbor. Okay, took a breath of water break. We are very near the end. We're gonna make it. So first off, I have 8 Minute Empire, which is a Sam game. What's 8 Minute Empire?
8 Minute Empire is like a 8-minute version of Risk, where you're just trying to quickly expand and control as much territory as you can by the time the game ends. But it's a lot of like Risk-type movement.
So it's like Risk. Hopefully you could hear him. He was walking towards us the whole time. But it's literally a timed 8-minute game. You can start putting them back in, I guess. I have Pit. I have never played Pit. I found Pit. Nope, not those ones. Not those ones. I didn't do those. I played Pit. I found Pit at Goodwill for like $1, and I've just heard a lot of people like Pit. So that's Pit. I also always keep Play-Doh around in case there's any games that need to sculpt. So I have some Play-Doh. Another Sam game. What's the Builders?
I don't remember. I think it's basically like the Harbor, except it's not as good.
Oh, you don't like Builders?
I don't think so.
Oh. That's an example on the back. I hope it doesn't seem silly. We've been collecting board games our whole relationship, so this is like 10, 12 years of games, and a lot of them we got on deals and things like that, so that's what's going on here. This is Chrononauts and all the expansions. I think this is a lot of fun. We should play this again now that we have a bigger table. But basically, it's like it's a card game that it's kind of like what would happen if like the Titanic never sank. So it is kind of like a butterfly effect game. So if the Titanic never sank, then these 4 things wouldn't have happened, and they get flipped over, and you're trying to make whatever your mission of history is. So you have to like flip different things to make your version happen. I have 2 copies of Farkle, which is basically a dice game that's a press your luck game, and you're trying to like get the most Yahtzees essentially, but press your luck for points. So I don't know, I have 2. I think I bought one as a gift for somebody and they had it, so I just kept it. So oops. Joe Name It. This is another just basically trivia game. So it's like, oh, name a music group with blank members, and you roll the dice. So with 4 members, name 4 sports played without a ball. So it's just trivia with a twist. Another Sam game, Star Realms.
I haven't played it.
We've never played it. We have to play more Sam games, don't we?
Probably.
Yeah. This is Dose. It's the sequel to Uno that nobody wanted and nobody enjoyed. I played this once with my friends. They were confused, and nobody will ever play with me again.
Yeah.
So, that's unfortunate. Speaking of nobody will play with me, Sam got me Friends Trivia for Christmas last year. Nobody else knows Friends like I do, so nobody will ever play with me, so it has gone unopened. Project Dreamscape. I think we got this from like a Kickstarter. This might be our only Kickstarter game.
I don't know if I actually got it from the Kickstarter.
Oh, maybe we were inspired by the Kickstarter. We go through phases where we really heavily watch, like, board game YouTube, and then we found this on Kickstarter. But it's about dreams. I don't know much else. Guillotine is a card game where, oh, there's no picture on the back. You're different, like, French nobles, and you want to stay away from the guillotine, but there's, like, different rules for where your cards are and who you're chopping and fun stuff like that. Bang the Dice game. What's that one, Sammy?
So we're, like, all outlaws in the West, and we're, I guess, all mad at each other because we're all shooting each other. So you roll the dice, and depending on what you get, sort of like Yahtzee type rules with rolling the dice.
But just fun symbols instead.
Yeah. And then you shoot the people next to you depending on what you roll, and you want to be the last one alive.
That's Bang the Dice game. This I actually haven't played because I got it for Christmas last year, and once I don't love getting Christmas themed things for Christmas because then I won't use them until the next year. So this is apparently Elf Snowball Showdown, but I'm going to keep this out to play it for this year since it's a good time now. And speaking of which, I have another Flux, Holiday Flux. I definitely have more Fluxes, and I don't know where they are. I definitely have original, if nothing else. But Holiday Flux is the same as Zombie Flux, but with a holiday theme instead. Finally, I have Love Letter, Batman Edition. You want to explain Love Letter?
So Love Letter is a game where there's only like 15 cards, and every player has one card that you can't reveal. And you take turns drawing one card and then playing one of your two cards. And you want to try to, like, depending on what cards you have, you can either, like, guess what somebody else has, and if you're right, they're out. Or you can compare cards or trade cards. It's just really quick rounds, and
Highest card wins.
yeah, if you make it to the end, then whoever has the highest card wins.
Illusion. This is a fun visual card game where basically you're seeing different patterns and you have to guess how much of certain color. So I don't know if you could see these examples. So you'll have to say like yellow, and does this card have more or less yellow? And you have to like put it in a line and guess. So now does this have more yellow than that but less than that? And you put it in the line, and then the back tells you how much yellow. So it's like a visual puzzle game. That one's really hard but fun. And finally, my bucket is Spot It Splash. So there's a whole series of Spot It games, and Splash is just waterproof cards. So you could literally bring this to the pool, to the beach, wherever you want. But I just got it because it's all sea-themed things. But you basically like have 5 of these out, and you're trying to find matches. So like this card and that card might have the seahorse, so I get both of them. And there's a bunch of different games to do with that. But this is, again, I just like the waterproofness of this. All right, we are almost at the end. Take that bucket, please. All right. Ooh. Here we go. Some sequels. 2 more boxes of Villainous. So we have Pete, Cruella de Vil, Mother Gothel, Radigan, Scar, and Yzma. We talked about those before. And I have Sushi Go Party, which is just a bigger version of Sushi Go that more people can play. The other one was 2 to 4 people. This one up to 8 people can play because there's physically more cards. And this one just has, like, that one has like 6 types of cards, and this one has like 12. That's the only difference. So it's still like a deck building game. And then finally, King Domino. End us on a high note.
King Domino is a game where you're going to put down different tiles.
It's upside down for us.
Like these. Yeah, and so you take turns picking them. The highest number ones are theoretically the best ones. And then next round, whoever has the highest numbered token goes last.
You're building your board.
And then you use these tokens to build your board and score points. So when you're picking something, you're kind of looking for, do I want to like take a really good card and score now? Or do I want to take a bad one and then next turn I get first pick?
Sure.
And it's sort of like how does it fit into your board according to the rules.
Yeah. And then the final one that I will not be bringing out because it is huge is we have about 8 copies of Dominion. And that is like the ultimate deck building. I think they're still making new expansions, but basically the entirety of college we were obsessed with this game and would play constantly. And all the expansions made things crazy. I had to make my own box. That box probably weighs like 15 pounds, right?
Yeah, it's pretty heavy.
It's a big old box.
We
And
sleeved them.
we sleeved them all. I alphabetized them. I made like it was like a 4-day project trying to put those all in that box. So, and of course, once I did that, we stopped playing. But anyway, that is it. I have no idea if anybody made it through. Again, I don't know how long this video is because we did a lot of jumps and breaking it up and things like that. But if you saw anything missing from our collection that you think we would love, please let us know. We love games that are 2-people games, or they can be more, but we're usually just playing by ourselves. But we don't like attacking each other, and we don't really like cooperating either. My favorite games are essentially games I'm playing by myself with Sam, and it's kind of like highest score wins at the end, if that makes any sense. Okay, if you made it all the way to the end, you are going to say Simon. Simon says, Simon swipe, whatever you want to say. And I applaud you, and I hope you enjoyed, and I know this was super niche, and not everybody watched this one, but this is just the beginning. We have like 29 more videos coming out this month, and I'm sure you will find ones that you love. So if you did like this one, thumbs up this video, comment anything you want to comment down below, including our secret word, Simon. Subscribe if you haven't. I'm a fun time, and I will be back again tomorrow and every day after that for the entire month. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Bye, friends.